The stock of the day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. Trade over 17,000 markets with extended trading hours on key US shares and competitive spreads, all on an award-winning platform. Get started at IG.com.
The stock of the day, I mean, we were spoiled for choice today, but I did pick JB Hi-Fi because there's more nuance perhaps around JB Hi-Fi as far as retailers go. So it saw record sales and strong earnings for the first half of the financial year. Continued customer demand for technology and consumer electronics, such as mobile phones, pushed sales up 7% to $6.1 billion for the half. Net profit rose 7.1% to nearly $306 million. Investors will get a higher dividend payout of $2.10 per share for the half. Okay, and as far as January goes, it says that growth continued across its businesses. But Citi points to slowing momentum with weaker January trading. RBC Capital Markets notes that January is a seasonally softer month, and the CEO commentary about uncertainty in the retail market combined with competitive activity is making things tougher. All right, let's get a view on our stock of the day. We'll start with David Lane, who's joining us from Ord Minnett. Some in the market actually say that JB Hi-Fi is more of a staples provider when you think about how tied we are to our technology. So does that insulate it, I suppose, from any of the consumer slowdown that rates could bring about?
I don't know that it insulates it so much, but certainly, technology is a very, very important part of our world today, and we're obviously so tied to our various devices, etc. And apparently things like Nintendo Switch 2 was one of the big sellers over the last 6 months or so. JB Hi-Fi, to be honest, I'm surprised that it's jumped as much as it has today. The share price is up 7.8%. It was an okay result. It was pretty much in line, if not a little bit below our expectations. And it is in a sector that, as you said, is dominated by the consumer, and we've just had an interest rate rise. So they're heading into a period where it could be a little bit challenging for them. Sales were up, but only 7.3%. So, I'm surprised that we've seen the bounce as much as we have, but I think it's probably more to do with the fact that the share price has been sold off quite a bit over the last few months rather than the actual result itself. We've currently got a lighten recommendation on them, but our target price is $96. So, as I said, they've been sold off quite a bit. I'd probably be more inclined to have a hold recommendation on us. I don't see any reason to be buying JB Hi-Fi, trading on a PE ratio of around 17 times, so it's not overly cheap. It is a really well-managed business, but I think with those headwinds in the consumer sector, I'd probably just be holding at this stage.
JB Hi-Fi. David Novak, Wealthwise Education. Do you like JB Hi-Fi? It was really richly valued for a while.
Yeah, it's come down to earth, and especially where it was before at $120 when it was that back just in October, and here we are at $82. I mean, it was a good report, the half yearly. The dividend was lifted, so across the board it looked very positive. Profit up after tax at 7%. The other thing about JB Hi-Fi, I mean, the whole sector, in fact, the whole retail sector has been under a lot of pressure. I mean, last time I was on the show with David, we talked about Temple & Webster, if you remember.
Yep.
When it was around $22, and I couldn't understand why anybody would pay that kind of valuation. Here we are, Temple & Webster's down near $7. But JB Hi-Fi, I mean, it's not on expensive price to earnings. It's 18 times with the lift in dividends, so it's not overly expensive. Although if you look at the trend right now, the trend's not your friend. It's certainly very negative. So it's got to work off the negative sentiment for a while before it starts to move back up again, or before the trend changes. So I'm with David here. If you've already got it, it's a bit too late to sell it down here. And the report was good, so it's not overly expensive. So I'd say rate it as a hold as well for that reason.
All right, there you go. JB Hi-Fi, solid hold from both of my guests.
The stock of the day was brought to you by IG. Trade over 12,000 shares and ETFs, including major tech giants with extended hours on an award-winning platform. Get started at ig.com.